Hello. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so thankful for the support and love I got on my last few videos. To be honest, I didn't think anyone would watch or like my videos, so seeing so many people actually watch them and enjoy them make me so happy. Anyways, this video is purely fiction, so if some things don't add up to the manga or anime, it's because I made it that way. Also, I would like to say that in this AU, male omegas can have and carry kids. Also, this is a few years into the future. Anyways, I hope you enjoy. Sakuatsu laid in bed with his husband's arm wrapped around his waist. It was an ordinary Saturday morning. He was just waking up. As he started getting up, he heard loud footsteps run towards him in his husband's room. The door burst open, showing his twins, Yuko and Miko, the two 5-year-olds. Both twins looked just like Sakuatsu. They both had his black coal-like eyes with black hair. The only difference was that their hair was straight like Atsumu's. Miko, the boy of the two, watched his father and sister from the door. He watched Yuko run to the bed and jumped on her father. Sakuatsu gasped and tried to shield his belly. Yuko, you have to remember that you can't be as reckless. You're going to hurt your little sister, he said as he stroked his large bump. Yuko gasped as she looked at the belly. I didn't mean to, Daddy. She caressed the bump softly as if she was apologizing. Sakuatsu nodded and smiled as he stroked the hair that covered her face. He looked over at Miko and gestured for him to come over. Miko smiled and ran over. He climbed onto the bed and softly sat next to his father. When is Papa waking up? Sakuatsu smiled softly as he held his two children close. You know that he just came back from overseas. He might still be a little tired. He looked over lovingly at his husband and then back at the twins. How about we make Papa some breakfast? The two excitedly nodded. Yuko dragged her twin brother to the kitchen. Sakuatsu smiled as he followed them. He had to be careful now. Since he was a month away from his due date, he couldn't make any harsh actions or it could hurt the baby. He walked into the kitchen to see the twins getting the ingredients for breakfast. He clapped his hands together and smiled. Let's get started. Sakuatsu watched as the twins took turns mixing the pancake batter. He couldn't help but smile. He felt so happy and grateful to have a family like this. If he was in the past and someone told him that he would be married with kids, he wouldn't believe them. He rested his head on his hand as he zoned out. The past years have been eventful, to say the least. Getting married, having kids, raising a beautiful family, and having another one on the way. Things were just so good. He caressed his large belly with a smile. He couldn't wait for the new member of their family to come. He zoned out thinking about everything that changed over the years. He was thrown out of his thoughts to the sound of the twins yelling. Daddy said I could make Papa's pancakes, not you. Miko stuck out his tongue. Nah. Daddy said we both could, so stop being mean. He tried to snatch the bowl full of batter from his twin sister. That only resulted in Yuko tugging the bowl harder. It was almost as if they were in a movie. The bowl flew into the air in what seemed like slow motion. The batter spilled out, covering the two, and pancake mix batter coated the cabinets and counters. Sakuatsu grimaced at the mess. Even though he wasn't as much as a germaphobe as when he was younger since he had kids now, but still the sight of such dirtiness disgusted him. The two twins whined as they continued to argue to their father. Daddy. Yuko spilled all Papa's batter. No. Daddy, it was Miko. He was being a meanie and spilled Papa's pancakes. The two started getting louder. Sakuatsu sighed and got up. He waddled over to the two guilty kids. Both of you are at fault. Let's just get this mess up and make a new batch for Papa. The two nodded and helped their father clean. Let's clean you guys up before we continue to make Papa food. He walked into the bathroom to clean the twins. After a dreadfully long bubble fight, he cleaned up the twins. When they got into the kitchen, they saw Atsumu putting pancakes onto plates. The twins smiled and gasped. They ran toward their Papa. Papa. You made breakfast. Papa. That was our job. Atsumu smiled at the twins. I wanted to make my 3 special people breakfast. The twins smiled as they got their food. Sakuatsu looked at his husband with slightly pink cheeks as he walked over. Atsumu looked at his husband in pure fondness. Sakuatsu stood in front of Atsumu looking flustered. Atsumu smiled as he held his husband close, pressing a gentle kiss to his cheek. You should be asleep. You had a long match, not to mention you were on a plane for hours. Omi, I didn't want to leave you to do all this work. He gently caressed the watermelon-sized bump. Plus you should be the one resting. I don't want you overworking yourself. Sakuatsu blushed. I'm not that careless. I know not to overwork myself. Atsumu gently touched Sakusa's cheek. I know, he said quietly as he pressed a soft kiss to Sakusa's lips. It was a short and sweet kiss. I love you. I love you too, he said while smiling. He truly was the luckiest man in the world. The twins look at their parents. Gross. Miko nodded, agreeing with his sister as he stuffed his mouth with pancakes. The two adults laughed as they got their food and sat with the twins. The small cozy home was filled with laughter and loud talking. Just a usual day in the Miya house. I hoped you enjoyed. I tried to get the most similar pictures for their kids, but I'm sorry if the pictures aren't exactly accurate. Anyways, I hoped you enjoyed and sorry for any editing or grammar errors.